Yo, what is up everyone? We are back with a brand new video. It's gonna be another deck profile. Apparently, Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel vids apparently do pretty well on my channel. So, we're gonna just keep going forward. We're gonna do more deck profiles, and I'm gonna save some of the more, you know, the main characters. I'm gonna be saving deck profiles for those characters. So if you really want to see Yuga and Luke and Romin and Gakuto, those type of decks are gonna be coming out after the new set comes out, because I'm going to be updating those decks anyway. Right now I'm going to be going with a deck which I think is going to be safe and probably not really getting support, and that is going to be Ranze and Rinnosuke's Flower Fang deck. Yes, Ranze and Rinnosuke are the twins from the anime. They both use a Flower Fang deck, which is a plant-based deck. I really like those characters, and fun fact, Ranze's VA is the same VA as Ghost Girl. You probably wouldn't know it until you really, you know, try to hear out enough. You'll be like, oh, I can kind of see that. But she does a really, really good job on making these characters sound incredibly different. Also, what I'm planning to do is I'm going to most likely try to link Twitter. I'm going to start up a Twitter, you know, get on that social media train with you guys. You guys can contact me about anything. We could talk about anything Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon, Pokemon, Beyblades, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We could talk about anything. I'll also be leaving updates on there about possibly my, my Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. Yes, I am starting writing out my own Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. Hopefully I'll be posting up a picture of my current protagonist, Yume, and her alternate form, and one of her monsters is going to be her Karibo Kokari Bancho. So I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing more pics from that series. Also, I'm going to do some updates on me developing my own trading card game, because I love the homemade TCG community. I've always been a dream of mine to start my own card game. So if any of you guys want to help on anything like that by supplying artwork or maybe ideas for my new Yu-Gi-Oh! Series or the trading card game that I'm trying to develop, it's not a Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, it's a brand new trading card game. I'll go into that a little bit more on my Twitter, maybe even do a video on it. But for right now, let's just get into what you guys are here for, and that is Ranze and Rinnosuke's Rush Duel deck. Nothing too spectacular here. They have a good deal of support, but nothing that's gonna push them over the edge like some other decks. But let's go with the big hitter, and this is Ranze's really big hitter. As you can see, 2500 attack, 1500 defense. This is True Flower Kunoichi Garand. So this card is really, really nice because it's more of a setup ace in a way. It's not really strong like on its own. So what it does is you place one plant monster from your graveyard in the bottom of your deck, which is a big theme in this deck. Then you can special summon a level lower plant monster from your hand to your field face up. The special summon monster's effects are negated. Oh no, it's not. I mean, my fault. Yeah, it's not negated. The downside is that it goes to the bottom of the deck during the end phase. So yeah, you still get the effect of your monster. That would be dumb if you negate the effect, because you really want the effect so you can build up your field. So there's the big ace, and the reason why that would have been dumb to negate the effect is because you really, really want to use her effect to summon this card right over here, Flower Fang Kunoichi at Transer. Really nice card right here. You definitely want to play her at 3, and it's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be pretty obvious why when you know her effect. And so basically, if you have another copy of her in the graveyard, you can send a plant monster from your hand to the graveyard, choose the copy of her from the graveyard, special summon it to the field, but during the end phase, it's placed in the bottom of the deck. And that's kind of what this deck does a lot. It recycles the monsters back to the bottom of the deck. And the deck kind of follows a ninja theme, so this is kind of like her Shadow Clone Jutsu in a way, something like that. It's really, really cool. But I believe the monster also summoned can't attack directly, so basically, whenever a monster you summon from the graveyard, use that to pick off your opponent's monsters. Of course, combos very well with Garen. Garen's gonna use her effect, special summon her from the graveyard. Her effect is gonna special summon another copy of her from the graveyard. You got 3 big monsters in a single turn. So let's move on to the next ace of Ranze. Yes, a lot of these cards are Ranze's because she's the one that's had the most duels between the twins, and she's had 3 duels in the series, while Rinnosuke's only had 1. So this is Flower Fang, Orchid Lion, Ganjamaru. So, see the guys see the stats. We're running 3. He has really high stats, the second highest stats next to Garan. And this effect, just hear me out, it's really, really good, but you're not going to know why until a little bit later on. So you can send one other face-up Earth Plant monster I control to the graveyard. We got a ton of those. Choose one face-up level 8 or lower Earth monster my opponent controls. Its original attack becomes 0 until the end phase. And I already know that doesn't sound great. That sounds very situational. You have to hope your opponent has an Earth monster. Don't worry, we got ways around that. Trust me, people, we got a way to make that actually work. Next is actually going to be Rinnosuke's ace monster, and that's Flower Fang Shinobi Gatling. So this card is actually really nice. You can send 2 normal monsters, 2 normal plant monsters that is, from your hand to the graveyard. Choose 2 face-up attack position monsters level 8 or lower your opponent controls. Destroy them, then inflict 500 damage by opponent for each monster destroyed by this effect. And this turn, you're going to attack with 1 monster. So yeah, you gotta you gotta give up a lot. So you gotta tribute summon into this guy, and then you have to discard 2 plant monsters so you can get that destruction effect. But you're inflicting 1,000 damage maximum, and I mean, you can still attack with this guy anyway. He has 2,000 attack points. Really great card. And there's a way, and he works a lot better if he can survive into your next turn so that you can draw a whole new hand so that you have more ammunition to throw at your opponent. Trust me, we have a way to make that work. Also, fun little note, Ranze has the character names of Ranze in the card name, and Gatling has Rinnosuke's characters in its card name, so both their names actually fit into their 2 main aces. I thought that was actually really cool. I don't know, maybe you guys might think as well. I think it's pretty cool that they have their names in their monster cards text. I mean their names, like, you know, in their monster cards names. So how we have now is Flower Fang Beauty Gekka. Pretty nice card over here as well. Is during the turn this card was normal summon, you could pay 500 life points, choose a normal earth plant monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, boom, that's amazing. So you can pretty much just summon her. If you need ammunition for Gatling, you can just bring it right back to your hand. Just get yourself an earth normal monster straight into your hand. I mean, I love cards like that. You guys seen it with the Seahorse card from the last deck profile I did with Mimi. Monsters that can become essentially just become 2 monsters are amazing in Rush Duel because you want to tribute summon anyway, and you need a lot of hand discard for some effects. So next we have Flower Fang Monk Mimosa. Not the drink. So if you control a face-up level 7 or higher plant monster, you could choose 1 defense position monster your opponent controls, change it to face-up attack position. Then if you change the monster to a face-up attack position in this effect, you gain life points equal to that chosen monster's original attack. So you're getting yourself some life point gain here. If your opponent's hiding out in defense mode because they don't want to, you know, suffer getting hit by Ganjamaru or Gatling, then you could just put that monster in attack mode and still either blow it up or reduce attack to 0. Trust me, there are ways to do that. Next card we have is going to be a normal monster, Baked Bean Soldier. You guys might be familiar with the original Bean Soldier card. This card's a little bit stronger. Being a fire type is not the best in this deck, and you'll see a little bit why, but it's a 15k beater. It's a normal monster. Normal monsters are very important in Rush Duel, as you can tell by, you know, just some of these effects. Flower Fang Warrior Rindo, really cool looking card. Pretty decent stats. 13-14 is a very good all-rounder. So again, normal monster you just want to have in the deck. Flower Fang Wolf Kurobana. Not the, you know, basically something you probably wanted to hide in defense mode, but again, another normal monster for the discard, and again, it's a tribute fodder. This one you're going to find really weird, but this one is, trust me, it has importance. It's called Grass. Yes, 0 attack, 0 defense, level 1, seems completely useless, but don't worry, it has its use outside of just being a plant and an earth monster as well. I mean, that's good enough as it is. Alright, first, next card we're going to have up is Forest. You guys know the deal with the old school cards. This card is going to power up all your plants, beasts, and insect type monsters by 200. Do not think low of these type of cards. In Rush Duel, the attack point threshold is very odd between what constitutes a tribute monster and a monster without tribute. For example, tribute monsters start, there's no monster that you could just normal summon without tribute that is more than 1500. So if you bump this guy up to 1700, your opponent has to tribute someone to get over this guy. Same thing with him. If in defense mode, or I'm not sure, because Ranze and Rinnosuke both use it. But you can either have a 1600 defense or a 1500 attack beater. You could turn these cards into really strong cards. 2700, no like dragons are getting over aside from like Blue Eyes. You have a 2500 attack point, can crash into things. 2600 attack is going to get over things. 2600 defense if you just want to live in defense mode and then be able to use your effect next turn. Do not count these type of field spells out. They are actually really good. Next is the card that's going to make Ganjamaru work, and that's Attribute Change Blast, and I'm pretty sure by the name alone you're understanding how this is going to work. Essentially, you're going to reveal a monster in your hand, or your opponent's monsters are going to be of that attribute, which is why I said fire is not the greatest type for baked beans man, but everything else is an earth monster. So all you have to do is reveal an earth monster, all your opponent's monsters become earth monsters, then you use Ganjamaru's effect and reduces attack to 0. You don't really have to play 2, but I didn't really have better options, and I'm running 3 Ganjamaru, so I have 2 chances to get off the effect if my opponent is not playing an earth monster. Pretty cool. Flower Fang spores. I get to, which one does this go? Okay, so if I need to have a normal monster, level 4 lower plant monster in my graveyard to activate it. You send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, always nice. Hopefully, you could throw her in the graveyard so you can revive her. Then you choose a normal monster that's a level 4 lower plant monster in my graveyard, special summon to my field, and that monster is returned to the bottom of the deck during the end phase. Again, that recycling ability, but you can either bring out something like this for a beater, or this as a beater, especially in forest, or playing as just tribute summon, or if you really need something for Ganjamaru, because Ganjamaru does require to get rid of a monster, there you go. Next, we have Invading Nature. Now this is a really fun card because actually it's not really that fun. What am I talking about? It's just your standard spell trap back row destroyer, but I think it's fun because that's Giga Plant, and Giga Plant looks really cool. I used to love using Giga Plant. I just wish this said plant or insect, because insects don't have their own back row killer, and that would have been really cool if it incorporated both of them, especially considering Giga Plant's effect in the original game. Here we have White Foam Bleach Motor, a pretty nice staple in any deck. It has no requirements to activate, you just gotta activate it. Choose one face a level 7 or higher monster your opponent controls. It loses 500 attack until the end of the turn, and you inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Easy way to beat over things, and you can inflict a nice 500 damage to your opponent. No real complaining there. Greater Piercing. Discard a monster from your hand, you choose 2 monsters of the same level, and they inflict piercing battle damage this turn. Of course, great with Ranze because she's going to summon multiple copies of herself, so you have 2 level 7s instantly on the field that can inflict piercing. Most of the big monsters are level 7, she's the only one that's not, so no big loss though. You have a great way to pierce, and you can actually put your opponent's monsters in defense position in this deck, and I'm going to show you how. Of course, not right now. First I want to show you possibly the best card in the deck, and that's Flower Fang Comeback. Yes, this card is absolutely amazing, and that is no exaggeration at all. When your opponent's... let me keep holding it here, because look at that artwork. When your opponent's monster declares direct attack, you shuffle 3 plant monsters from your graveyard into your deck. That already seems like a lot, I know, but trust me, it can easily be done in this deck. Destroy the attacking monster. Then, if a monster was destroyed by this effect, you can special summon 1 plant monster from your graveyard in face of attack position. And remember what I said, if you can have this on your field at the start of your next turn, that's how you do it. Essentially, your opponent direct attack, blow up their monster, bring him out to the field. Chances are your opponent can't get over it. Hopefully, he does have 2,000 attack and force, you'll have 2,200 attack. Start of your next turn, hopefully you draw into some of your earth monsters or her so she could get something back for you. And then you can start blowing up your opponent's monsters. Remember, they're already losing 1 thanks to this, and if your opponent had a full field, their whole field is gone. Absolutely amazing card. That's why I put 2 in the deck. I know it shuffles a lot back into the deck, and that can hurt. Another good thing about this card is that it shuffles the deck. It doesn't just return to the bottom. Remember, you're returning a lot of things to the bottom, which means you can't see them again unless you shuffle. This is the way to shuffle your deck. Amazing card to have. Alright, so we're going to have Flower Fang Shadow Strike. When your opponent's monster declares an attack on my face-up plant monster, choose 2 plant monsters from my graveyard, put them in the bottom of the deck. Again, why this is important, because it can shuffle the deck. Then, I change all attack position monsters my opponent controls to face-up defense position. Remember what I said, I can do some piercing. All I need to do is use this card, put them in defense position, and that's it. They can't really do... I can just pierce right over their monsters, beat over their monsters with some of these guys in forest. Really nice card to have. Here we're gonna have 2 block, another way to actually get your monsters in defense position. Essentially what it does is discard 2 normal monsters from your hand, choose 2 of your opponent's monsters, and put them in face down defense position. It can fill up your graveyard a little bit as well, so that you actually can use this a little bit earlier on, or this a little bit earlier on, since they actually do need a decent amount of plant monsters in the graveyard to go with. Then lastly we have Laughing Grass. This is the card that's going to make the useless card Grass actually useful. And so when your opponent normal summons a monster, you can special summon a plant monster from your hand face up. That's any plant monster, that's including your big ones, remember that. But if you special summon a normal monster by this effect, you could choose 2 normal monsters, level 1 plant in your graveyard, and special summon them face up. Yes, so if you special summon a normal monster to the field, when your opponent summons a monster, let's say you have nothing on your board because your opponent Dark Liberation, you special summon this from your hand. Then, since it was no monster, you can special summon 2 more in the hand, so you pretty much build up a wall on your opponent's turn. Absolutely amazing. That's a good reason why you should run 3, because you do want to at least have 2 of these in the graveyard. And you're shuffling a lot of cards back, so you want to put in 3 so you can at least make sure you have some there all the time. And, well, essentially that is the deck. I mean, there's no maximum, no legend card, nothing insane, but it's a fun, consistent deck. I love plant type decks. I really hope that these characters get more later on. There are some cards I am missing. There's a promo card that I'm missing. Hopefully I'll get it. And there's another card from the last set that I'm missing. As you guys know, I didn't buy the last set. I didn't find it to be too great, but I am definitely getting the next set. So I hope you guys really enjoy that, and hopefully I'll be using this in a duel. This is one of the decks I actually want to use in a duel. I'm not sure who to pair it up against. Might be against whoever's going to be the next deck profile, which I'm planning to be Tiger's deck. So look forward to that one. So until next time, people, like, comment, subscribe, and peace out.